And a good afternoon to you, Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you. And boy, what a day. A weird day and an unusual and a very warm one across our Triad area here as we go through our Wednesday. It's the warmest March 11th on record. It's the warmest day this early in the year. We'll explain more about that in just a second. But in any case, very exceptional warmth across the area, across the state. And this is something that we're going to see go away. Today was the last day of a very long warm-up. Remember, we started this last Wednesday when we shot up into the 70s. We've been in the 80s several times throughout the course of this warm-up. Today's the last day because tomorrow we're going back to the cold stuff, and it'll be pretty dramatic to see how it happens. Let's take a look at what's going on outside your window right now. There's a look at your current temperatures coming off of our daytime highs, which were a little bit warmer than that. And yes, record-breaking too, record-breaking warmth around the area. Currently, still sitting in the low to mid-80s around the region. Temperatures at 85 in Burlington, 82 in Greensboro. But let's kind of take a look at what we did today. So the record high was tied for today's date. So you see it here. So far, I should say actually what we finally ended up with was 86 degrees. The record was 86 going into today's date. And there it is. We tied it. We thought we would and wasn't quite able to break it necessarily, but we were able to tie it right there on the nose. As far as perspective on this, what I've done is I went back throughout history. And in Greensboro, our weather history starts in 1903. That's when our records begin. So if you think about it, that's over 120 years of weather records. In that whole time, there have only been 2 days, this date or earlier, that have been above 85. Just 2. Today is one of them. March 11th, 1967 is the other one. That's it. We've never been above 85 other than those 2 times, and we've only been above, 83 a couple times here. This is the top 5 that I could find looking back through our history books. Pretty impressive to say the least. If you're curious about, what was the warmth around the area, what was the warmth maybe in your neck of the woods, let's take a look at that here if I can pop that up. This is your regional map. So throughout the Triad area today, 87 in Burlington, 87 in Lexington. Reidsville popped up to 88 degrees, as did Danville, Virginia. And I was curious, would anybody in North Carolina hit the 90-degree mark today? We were able to find it. So let's take a look here. This is in eastern North Carolina, primarily a big cluster of 90s. So going from around Fayetteville, really Charlotte, South Carolina did too, but we care about North Carolina mostly. Here's Smithfield. We have Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, Kenansville, and even over here, this is the one that I scratched my head a little bit with, Stumpy Point. Over by the coast, I guess they got to 90 as well. But either way, some impressive levels of warmth for today. And like I said, this is the last day of the big warm up because we're getting ready to do this. A big swing in temperature going about 50 degrees cooler. 50 degrees cooler by Friday morning. How does that happen, you say? Well, let's take a look at why. It's pretty clear to see why when you look at a map quite like this. We have the 80s locally, we've got the 30s back here, and that's a pretty sharp cold front that's driving all this across the country. So if you look at the weather pattern, what we're seeing is that there is a lot of rain along with this. There's also a good amount of severe thunderstorms too. So this is kind of what we're going to have to keep an eye on as it moves a little bit closer to us. There's been some severe weather up in Pennsylvania. Right now, Maryland, near the D.C. area of Northern Virginia, these are areas that are looking more intense than what we'll experience for tomorrow. They have more of a tornado risk. Farther out to our west, Kentucky and Tennessee, they're dealing with a similar situation. We'll watch that storm as it gets a little closer to us overnight. And then farther off to the south, there's a threat down that way too. As I was saying, the threat of that storm is mostly to the west of us for tonight. So the severe weather risk looks like this for this evening into tomorrow morning. For our area, it does shift a little bit closer. So you can see for tomorrow, there's a level 1 risk of strong or severe thunderstorms, mostly south and east of our area. This does clip you if you're in Troy, Asheboro, Siler City, and Raleigh, but it's just a low risk. What I want to show you is the timing on this. So by around 5 a.m., we still should be mostly dry around the area. But take a look as we get closer to 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. This is when this really means business. And this could be a pretty darn nasty line of heavy rain temperatures dropping dramatically. You see that 70 over here versus 40s over here. That's a major, major cold front. Okay, and this is the area that you might want to watch for a couple bad thunderstorms over this way. But for us, it's mostly some major rainfall, some gusty winds, and temperatures kind of dramatically falling into the upper 30s and low 40s throughout the day. So like we were saying, this is a big change. You'll feel it. Mostly not severe, but it doesn't mean it's not a big weather day for us. So the main timing on this is 6 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon. There will be some gusty winds, of course, temperatures crashing out as well. You need to have the rain gear, the raincoats, the warm weather gear, all that stuff. Slow it down on the roadways too. Behind that system, we are going to watch for that colder air to keep on moving in. And by the way, this does try and put some snowflakes into North Carolina tomorrow. I don't really buy it, but I'll show it to you. Here is where we go with that cold stuff. Friday morning, temperatures in the 30s. And then looking ahead to the weekend, start you out on Friday. It's a pretty fine day of weather. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s to right around 60 for Friday there. But here's the morning lows that we start with on Friday morning. Temperatures will be only in the low 30s to begin your Friday. So frost is a possibility. And then early next week, this is kind of concerning. You've got another big blast of cold air poised to hit us on St. Patrick's Day. So very cold weather is on the way early next week for us. Now, beyond this, we're looking at pollen. Moderate levels of pollen are in the forecast. Why? Well, some rain, that'll help to knock things down a little bit. Colder weather will help to do that as well Friday into Saturday. So that's kind of the plan. I'll recap your tomorrow. Temperatures really warm in the morning. Afternoon, temperatures are cold. Going to be a big change for us. Mostly from about 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that rain chance. And like we said, it gets cold a lot quicker than you might expect. Friday is a chilly day of weather, but not too different from normal for this time of year. The average low is 38. The average high is 60. That's pretty close to average. The weekend itself, Saturday and Sunday, looking to be warmer for our area. And then looking ahead, we have another cold front going in on Monday. And that one could be pretty strong, maybe with a couple thunderstorms, and then chill after that. We'll be right back here with Brad in just a couple minutes.